I built a 7-prong security audit that checks your local AI for leaks, locks down the one it finds, and uses the AI assistant you already have to do it. It takes about 20 minutes. You paste each prompt into Codex, Cursor, Cloud Code, Anti-Gravity, or whatever tool you already use with access to your machine. And by the end, your setup goes from probably fine to verified and locked. One thing before we start, if you have the beast hardware to run models like over 120 billion parameters, fully local, fully offline, fully air-gapped, that's the gold standard, beautiful, good for you. But for me, my setup cannot handle 120 billion parameters yet, so I'm not there yet, and most people aren't. Most of us are already trusting a frontier model for work, so we might as well use that same assistant to reduce the obvious security holes. Obviously not a purity test, it'll be a security lockdown. Before we get into that, my name is Daniel Jindeo, and I used to run an AI info business that questions my moral every single day, and eventually I quit. Now I'm giving away everything I know about AI for free. No gatekeeping, you can join my community for free, the newsletter, get as much value as you can. I don't believe in selling courses. It's a waste of time, and business owners just do not have time to go through 8 hours long courses. It just doesn't make sense. Are you kidding me? Anyway, that's why I made this. Just plug in and watch it work. Audit my machine for local AI services that are listening on all interfaces instead of localhost. Explain the risk in plain English and lock down safe items automatically. You know, your AI model server has a setting that controls who can talk to, right? So if it's set to 127.0.0.1, we call it localhost, only this computer can connect, so nobody else, you're pretty much safe. But if it's set to 0.0.0.0, it's accepting connections from other places too. When you're setting up OpenClaw, it is exactly the same, so be careful about that. Other computers, other devices, anything that can reach it on the network. However, most local AI tools default to localhost. Obviously, that's the safest setting. But Docker deployments are kind of different. The official Llama Docker image listens on all interface by default and runs as root. That's the riskiest combination out of the box, I think. And even outside Docker, tutorials constantly tells you to change the setting to 0.0.0.0 so other device, your phone, your other laptop can connect to it. If you followed one of those guys a couple months ago, yours might be set wider than you think. One more thing, most of these tools have zero built-in authentication. There's no username, there's no password, nothing at all. So localhost binding is your only wall basically. So if you remove that wall from there, you need to put something else in front of it to barricade it, right? So the fix is pretty simple here. Bind it to localhost. And if you're running Docker, pin the port to localhost when you map it. So use this exact comment on the screen once again to lock it down. Once that's done, your model server only talks to this machine. Nobody else can get in. Pretty much good to go. Prompt 1, done and over, locked. Check whether any local AI service on this machine is reachable from other devices on the home network. If yes, explain which service, why, and how to restrict it safely. This is the one that catches people off guard sometimes. Your AI can be completely hidden from the public internet and still be wide open to every device on your home Wi-Fi, your partner's laptop, your kid's tablet, a smart TV, a neighbor's phone that you invited over for dinner. If it's bound to your local network IP instead of local host, any device on that same Wi-Fi can connect to it. Isn't that kind of obvious though? So same fix as before, you gotta rebind it to localhost. If you need other devices to reach it on purpose, you gotta set up authentication and firewall rules so only the specific devices you choose can get through. Once this prompt runs, random device on your network cannot wander off and talk to your model server anymore. So prompt 2, done and over, locked. Audit this machine for anything that could make my local AI reachable from outside my home network, including tunnels, reverse proxies, relay software, or exposed services. Give me the safest fix for each one. But important correction here, being set to 0.0.0.0 does not actually mean the whole internet can reach you. Thankfully, your router blocks most inbound traffic by default, but 0.0.0.0 creates that opening. And if something else punches through your router, that opening now becomes a door. And things that can punch through are port forwarding rules you set up months ago and just completely forgot about it, and tunnels like ngrok or Cloudflare tunnel running in the background, and relay features inside apps you didn't realize were active. What you gotta do here is delete that old port forwards, shut down unused tunnels. If you need remote access, you can use a VPN so the connection goes through an encrypted tunnel first, not a public facing endpoint. So after you fix this one, there should be no direct path from the internet to your AI port. So prompt 3, done and over, locked. walk me through how to check whether UPnP is enabled on my router. If you cannot access my router directly, give me simple model-specific steps I can follow myself. So UPnP stands for Universal Plug and Play. In plain English, plain terms, it lets device on your network ask the router to open inbound ports automatically. It's like an automatic gate or door without your permission. You might have never set up port forwarding yourself, but Universal Plug and Play could have done it for you quietly in the background, maybe for any app that's asked. So what you gotta do is basically turn that up, go into your router setting and disable the UPnP. If your ISP provider router buries the setting or hides it completely, which makes it kind of tricky, you can search the model name plus disable UPnP, and if the router is too locked down to change, that might be the moment you consider running your own or call somebody that can help you out. Now devices on your network can no longer ask the router to open. Now when you get this done, no device on your network can no longer ask the router to open ports behind your back. No more stabbing behind the back. So prompt 4, done and over, lock. Find where my AI app store chats, logs, uploads, embeddings, and cache. Tell me whether any of those folders are inside Cloud Sync locations and move them to a safer non-synced folder if possible. This one is kind of sneaky. Your AI runs locally, right? Your model is on your machine. Your prompts never leave your computer except your chat logs, uploaded files, and working documents might be sitting inside a folder that's OneDrive. It could be iCloud, that's so common. Dropbox or Google Drive is syncing to the cloud every few minutes. You locked the front door but left copies of your conversation in a shared mailbox, which I think is pretty obvious to think about. So what you gotta do here is you can create a dedicated folder outside any Cloud Sync directory, move your AI workspace there, exclude it from syncing. So when you're done with this, your local chat history and working files should stay on this machine, not mirror to another freaking company's server by default, even though most companies have DPA, which is a data processing addendum, under their terms and conditions. Unless you explicitly enable the setting to let your data to be trained to improve their models, which I don't think I never want to do. I don't know about you. Do you care? Help me create the safest browser setup for local AI use. Audit my current browser profiles, extension exposure, and recommend a clean dedicated profile for AI work. If you use OpenWebUI or any browser-based interface for local AI, your browser is part of the security boundary now. Every extension in that browser can request permission to read page content. So for example, grammar checks, productivity tools, coupon finders, ad blockers with broad permissions. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure some of them can see what you type. They can see what the model responds. So what you can do here is create one separate browser profile dedicated to local AI. There's no extensions, nothing at all. It's just plain default setting, right? So use it only for the AI interfaces there. Now, when you're done, your prompts and model responses are not really visible to whatever random extensions are running in your main browser profile. And this prompt can find out about those leaks. Audit what this AI stack can access on my behalf right now, including files, shell, browser, network, APIs, connectors, and MCP style tools. Disable or isolate anything unnecessary and explain the remaining blast radius. So here the blast radius means if this AI process gets compromised or if an agent gets tricked by a bad prompt injection, how much of your system can actually touch? Can it read your entire home folder? Can it run shell commands? Can it call APIs with your credentials? I don't know where you're storing your APIs. Do not store it in your Notepad, Notion, or sticky note. Do not do that. Can it send messages on your behalf through connected tools? To answer to most of these is probably yes, I'm assuming right now. What you can do here is, and this goes for OpenClaw setup and everything, how the configuration works is, you can run AI processes as a separate low privilege user account when you can, use containers or a virtual machine for heavier setups, remove file access and tool connections that you're not actually using, and also disable the MCP connectors and API integrations you enabled once and forgot about. So when you're done with this, I found that this can sometimes be a pain in the ass, because if you set the rule too strictly, limit the access exposure a bit, you are basically blocked from doing those things. So now you have to go through the configuration settings once again to make something work, whether that is giving more access or etc. Right? So that's it. That's the 7-prong security audit that you can just do it right now following my video. If you follow this video, so far you check who can talk to your AI server, whether your network exposes it, whether your router is opening doors without asking, whether your files are syncing somewhere you did not expect, whether your browser is leaking your prompts, and how far the damage goes if something breaks. works, right? 7 prompts, you can pick any assistant you can use, whether it is Codex, Cursor, Anti-Gravity, Claude Code, and much more. It takes about 20 minutes. And I put all 7 prompts into a free PDF. You can just download it right now. Every prompt copy paste ready with a one-line explanation of what it exactly checks and what the fix looks like. So if you're interested in this, link in the description, just sign up for my newsletter and it's yours. And if you found this useful and actually ran the prompts with your AI assistant, just let me know like what things that you found that were wide open or possibly leaking, right? I know this is a short video. I noticed some of you guys don't really like the long videos since you guys are business owners mostly, so I get it. And I'm thinking of going live on YouTube this week just to connect with you guys. Let's talk about anything that comes into our mind. I guess since my channel is about AI, so I should really talk about AI, but it doesn't matter. We can talk about life, business, and even the meetups that I'm going to be hosting pretty soon. Anyway, I'll see you either in the live streaming or in the next video.